the Collision EP with Turno fairly recently. Tell us a little bit about this project. How did this whole thing happen?
Well, I've known Turno for a few years actually. I first met Turno when I was playing at Innovation in the Sun years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I never met him at Innovation in the Sun, but the sound engineer that was at the stage said to me, "Oh, you know this Turno guy?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Yeah, but he lives near you, doesn't he?" And I went, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, look, here's his earplugs. He's left them here. Can you give them back to him when you see him when you're in the UK?" So he gave me these earplugs, and then I get a phone call from this guy. "Hello, mate. I heard you got my earplugs." So after all of that, he came to my house. I gave him his earplugs, and then he was building his new studio at that point. Anyway, we've kind of kept in touch all of this time. Cut a long story short, we ended up having this idea of merging his sounds with my sounds and just coming up with this new concept.
All right, fair enough. Your label, Titan Records, is celebrating its 5th birthday, and to mark this milestone, you had a 3-part release coming out on the label. Can you tell us a little bit about this project as well?
5 years of Titan. We always wanted to do an album, but obviously with us, it's almost like an anniversary thing, you know, like a celebration. 5 years. I mean, the label's got bigger and better every year. It amazes me how well it does. And then for the album, I didn't want to do just like a full-on, right, bang, here's an album. You know, I wanted to split it up so that the artists that were involved in each individual part were focused on more, you know? So people would look at them and just like, "Oh man, that tune's sick," instead of going to an album and going, "Yeah, I like that, that and that," you know? It's like you target your audience a bit like a bit better so that you can like basically market your tunes to your audience in such a strong way that when you release each individual part, the whole thing just became just such a great package in the end. So I was really pleased with it. But yeah, 5 years of Titan. There you go. Sorry if that's making any noise on the mic.
So what's the plan going forward with Titan Recordings?
The plan going forward? I need a holiday. But yeah, no, to be honest, it's just non-stop. We're signing new artists. We've got new projects coming out, we've got events lined up, you name it, we're doing it. And we've also got some tracks like being featured on certain other albums. We're working closely with our publishing company. So yeah, it's all go. But yeah, I think the latest guys that we've signed, they're from Spain, from Seville. They're called Maniatics. Yeah, no one's heard of them. That's the great thing, because they sent us this music. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is amazing," you know. And it's just like, "Yeah, have you sent this to anyone else?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Great." So yeah, more of the same, but better quality and just non-stop, relentless.
Just the way, man. Yeah. It's no secret that your real talent is behind the decks. How old were you when you first started DJing, and how did you start DJing in the first place?
I was 13 when I started DJing. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was, because that'll make me sound really old. But I was 13, and me and my mates, we used to skip school, and we used to what they call bunk. Basically, we'd go round to my friend's house, and then one time we went round there and he'd found some semi-automatic direct turntables, and I don't know, it all suddenly just started to come around, and people would like, friends of ours had vinyl, and we were nicking like his mum's old vinyl and just mashing up everything. And then we kind of got into the garage scene, but yeah, 13 I was when I started, and then we used to just go down to Black Market Records in London, like religiously. But yeah, that's pretty much where it started.
Who are drum and bass artists that you feel at the moment?
Everyone who works on Titan. Nah, there's plenty out there, man. There's some really good young talent coming through, because we all know the obvious ones, you know, like your Noisiers and like your Hazards and your Matthewses and all this, right? But I think there's like, you're going to see a huge change in the next 24 months. There are some unbelievable talent coming through. One of the recent ones is Annex, obviously. But yeah, there's some other guys out there that are just absolutely killing it. The list is endless, and I could sit here and give you loads of them, but I would just say to just follow Titan's pages, because not only do Titan advertise the stuff that's on Titan, but they talk about everything else that's in the industry as well. So.
If you could change one thing about the drum and bass scene, anything, what would it be?
That's a loaded question, man. That is a loaded question. There's a few things, but nothing too drastic. To be honest, I love our scene the way it is at the moment. You know, it's contrary to what anyone else would say, it's never sold itself out, and it allows artists to be really creative, you know. And you'd be surprised what like some of the really like top producers in this industry, like they don't just make drum and bass. Quite a lot of them make other stuff for other people, and when I say other people, I mean other companies, maybe, you know, like for the BBC or Sky Sports, or like there's lots of other work to do. But the thing is though, because drum and bass is such a technical industry and technical scene, when you nail it in production, you're really talented, and you'd be surprised that allows you into other forms of the music industry. So I wouldn't really change much at all, to be honest.
You played in Hungary last year in July. Was that a memorable event for you?
Yeah, man, I love playing in Hungary. Budapest is great. Plus, to be honest, it's just Bladerunnaz in general. I just love playing for Bladerunnaz. It's got such a good rapport, like across Europe, you know, and around the world. Walking into the office where we run Titan, and I'm seeing a friend of mine wearing a Bladerunnaz shirt, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going there on the weekend, man. He's like, oh yeah, I played there like a couple of weeks ago. And it's just, yeah, I just love playing. The vibe over here is strong, you know. Plus also, people know the music. It's not, they're educated, you know. So you can play, you can go really deep and go real old school if you want, and you're gonna get a reaction because they know what it is, which is great.
Is tonight gonna be even more special than your last occasion here?
I hope so. Always looking for the bigger and better. But yeah, we'll see what's going on. I've seen the live stream so far and it looks pretty amazing out there, so I'm looking forward to getting on.
Any final words?
Just stay in contact with everything about Titan, myself. I could give you all the links, but I'm sure you'll put them up online somewhere. But yeah, just stay in touch with Titan and everything that we're doing, and yeah, peace out.